everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video series, beginner series, although it applies to intermediate and experts, we're gonna learn basically everything about Strategy Quant X. Every little option, every little tab, we're gonna dive in, teach you about it, and hopefully by the end of this series you'll be an expert at using Strategy Quant X. I got so many questions about, especially about the workflow, and that will be later. In the beginning, we'll focus on Builder, Tester, and all its tabs, and then we will go to the workflow. Basically, the idea is to become an expert in this software, so you custom build your workflow and it generate robust strategies for you automatically running 24 hours a day. Oh, one more thing. The audio, unfortunately, I apologize, it's bad basically. I'm using a headphone over wireless channel and it's not a good quality. I ordered a very good quality headphones. It's supposed to be here in 2 weeks. They are back ordered. So hopefully future videos, middle of July, will sound excellent so you get the most out of these videos. And as always, if you have any questions, please comment below or send me an email and I'll be happy to answer them. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to start a new series that's called the Beginner Series. Basically, we will go over all building blocks of Strategy Quant X, all tabs, all options, to teach you how to use this excellent package to get the most out of it. So we will start sequentially going through Builder and full settings, results, all the tabs in here, how to use data banks, and once we finish Builder, we'll go to Retester, Optimizer, and so on and so forth. Obviously, I got a lot of emails about how to do custom projects. That will come up in one of these videos, so keep an eye on this channel. So today we're going to start with the main tab in SQX, which is the Getting Started page. When you launch SQX, after it verifies the license, you'll reach this page. You have these simple tutorials and online help links and advanced workflow, which I don't see any reason for it. This is just an example, but we will get into custom projects and then you can then we will see how to do the workflows. But for now, these are simple links to do simple projects, simple tests, to, let's say, to break the ice and make things easier. Here you will have all-time statistics. Of course, every time you upgrade or you install new version, this will be reset. This is just like, I think, bragging rights. I don't see what's the point of it. But in any case. And then down at the bottom, this is very important. You have the version number and also some links. Over here on the right corner, you have the debug. If you program, this is the programming console, which is in Java. And this, the grid control, this actually keeps, like if you're building strategies, you will see this is updating every 3 seconds. And basically just give you an idea of what strategies are coming up. Again, I don't see the point in this. And then in the settings, you have the help and support, zoom, the skin, language, and then the SMTP server. If you set this up, then in workflow, you can then later on instruct SQX to email you when the project is done or if it's halted for whatever reason. So you can set the email here, and then you can set to remote access. You can allow it here. Of course, SQX has to be running and connected to the net. And then you can run the benchmark and configuration. In configuration, the main thing is you want to reserve one core for the interface. Otherwise, SQX will use every single core and then you cannot access even the program itself. So make sure this option is clicked.
Under performance, I keep everything as default, change it as you see fit. In memory, I use half of my memory. My system has 32 gig. I'm using 19. It's good enough. If you have low memory bank, then you should click this, perform memory cleanup periodically. And I use parallel. Data banks I sync every 1 hour. In fact, in the beginning, you should just switch it off, because there is no point in syncing 1,000 strategies when they're all garbage. So once you become comfortable and making good strategies, then it's okay to sync, because that takes time to write it to the hard disk and processor time. I don't store data as recommended, and troubleshooting, you can use the accelerator, and you can use a memory protection if you have problems. If there are no problems, then don't use it. Okay, so now this is the main page. So the first page, the first tab we get into is Builder. This is the main, let's say, the bread and butter of the program. And in Builder, again, this summary here, it's to break the ice, because all these options are available in much detail in full setting tab. So in progress, this is just to make it easier. But once you're expert in SQX, you rarely use this, okay? Because you always want to custom what you're building. But if you just new to SQX and you just want to see, okay, let me use the default trend following, I'm going to use Tradestation engine, you pick your futures data or whatever data, daily, disable, and then just start building. And this default will have something coming up, and it's exciting, and so this is just to break the ice again. So these are simple templates for trend following, mean reversion, fuzzy, daily, market. It's important to know that when you pick trend following, it's actually picking certain blocks here that's geared toward trend following strategies. Okay, and when you pick, let's say, daily, you will have different blocks picked. So that's the main thing, that's the main shortcut that this template is doing. And actually you can see it here. So if we go, let's say, default futures, you'll see it's building simple strategies with stop loss, profit target required, fixed pips, genetic evolution, 123 blocks, exit on Friday. And for example, if we go, let's say, to trend following, so now it's simple strategy and 112 entry blocks, 5 exit types, and you see it's basically some simple template. Okay, now once you build some strategies, this is the log. And if you clear log on start, that means every time you start, this will be wiped out. And if you don't do this, and let's say I'm going to start again, it's going to continue the log. So if you don't have this on, then you can clear it like this. Down below, you'll have some good statistics. Let's clear trend following, and let's pick our future data and disable cross-check, and let's start.
1 minute 37 seconds later.
So now that we have 1,000 strategies, we can use this info. So to generate 1,000 strategies. We had to reject all these. And you can see that 63%, which is a huge chunk, was rejected because too many trades closing at the same bar. Okay, this rejection comes from this filter. So if you go to full settings, ranking, and in this filter, by default, these two are chosen: no trades and too many trades closing at the same bar. So no trades meaning, if there is no trades, the strategy bought in the beginning and didn't close the position. That's no trade. Too many trades closing at the same bar, meaning the strategy did something, maybe sneaked a peek at the future, or did something wrong basically, where more than one trade closed at the same bar. Now that not necessarily all the time is wrong, but in the beginning it's safe to click this on. Okay, so the majority of strategies were rejected because of that condition. The second condition is the global filter, net profit. So you see here it says automatic filter, global filter. And again, both of these, so this is automatic and this is the global filter. So automatic we have two, and you can see this is the major one, and then the global filter, which will be here, the net profit. So one of the ranking priorities was that we have a net profit. Basically the strategy ended the period profitable. And then the next one is the number of trades. And these are the rejections criteria. So 4 of them, and you can see that the majority went to this, and then the second best went to this, and so forth. So the number of trades greater than 50, only 10% were rejected because of that. Okay, so that's a good information to have, because you can then redo the strategies based on these rejections. And then the acceptance is basically we accepted 1,000 strategies and 28 were replaced with better strategy, so 2%. Okay, then time per acceptance and accepted strategies per hour. This is an average based on what we accepted. And then you have these two charts here, and you can change these. If you click on this arrow, if you don't see it, if you just hover on top of it, it will show up. And so you can choose any of these. The islands are all for genetic evolution, and then these are the memory used, and then this is about the data bank fitness, and then the average strategy per hour. Okay, so for me the memory chart is nice to know, and then I might use the data bank fitness auto sample. Also, if you click on this chart, this is also the fitness evolution. Now we didn't pick in sample and out of sample, I think, and we can check that. If we go to data, there is no in sample out of sample, so that's why this chart, it's all in sample. But once you have out of sample, it will show up here, and in sample validation will show up here. So these charts, you can get it from here. Of course, this is the data bank, and we will have a separate video on that, because I want to teach you how to build your own data bank. And so let's keep the data bank away. So we covered all this. And then, as we mentioned, this is the summary. And then these are the top 3 strategies that are built so far. These two, which is save and load. So currently, these are templates. You can have your own template. And this is different than Algo Wizard, because this template will save everything, and I'll show you what I mean. So let's say we are starting from scratch. Let me pick so let's clear all this. Okay, so it's only exiting after number of bars, only market orders, and no blocks, no indicator, zero indicator, zero block. And I will pick some of our candle products. Let's pick all of them. Okay. So now I picked some custom conditions, exit only after bars, and entry only at market. My money management use 1, and no cross check. And let's say I'll use only net profit, and let's say 500. Okay. And then in trading options, I will exit end of day. Actually, let's say exit on Friday. Yeah. Okay, exit on Fridays, and I will allow 2 trades per day. And my data, let's say, have in sample, out of sample, and validation, and we will build using random, and let's say long only. Not required, not required. Okay, so all these tabs, okay, we will now save it. So we'll click on save as, and I will store, let's say, candle pattern config version 2. Now I'm storing this in a separate folder, and I'll show you why. This folder is on my desktop. Now this template can generate strategies, and we'll check. So okay, we have some strategies. Let's clear. Now let me pick again the trend following. Now remember, sorry. So now we have only 43 blocks picked, which are the custom blocks, only 1 exit, and we have a condition to exit on Friday, maximum 2 trades per day, fixed size, 1 lot, money management, simple strategy, stop loss, profit target not required. Now if I'm gonna go and pick trend following, you can see that the blocks change, the stop loss and profit target, but these are not changed because this template does not affect money management and trading option and data. These 3 tabs are not affected by this template, and we can see that when we picked it, it didn't change any of this. The data stayed the same, in sample, out of sample stayed the same, the exit on Friday stayed the same, trades per day stayed the same, and money management stayed the same. What changed is ranking and building blocks and what to build. Okay, now it's both long and short, and stop loss and profit targets are required. So this template only affects certain tabs, but our template, which if I load it now, load from file, and it will be this one. So the configuration is .cfx. Let's load it. Yes. And you can see it changed everything. What to build, building blocks, trading options, money management. Everything has changed from this template. So it's different than this. Okay, it's much more detailed. Now, if you go to load and you see load save configs, in order to see your configuration stored show up here, you need to add it. See how to add config here. You need to add it to this folder. Config, user, settings, configs. And let's call this candle patterns config. So I save it. So again, to test it, let's load a different strategy template. So again, only the building blocks and what to build changes. Trading options, money management doesn't change. And now if I go to open load, and it will show up here. Candle pattern config, because I saved it in the right folder. But even if you don't, it will always be here. So remember, let's say if you are backing up your data, then you should back up this folder because your configs are stored there. Okay, and if we load it now, yes, and you'll see it will change everything. Okay, so I hope this was useful to you. This is part 1 of the series. As I said, we will go over all the tabs and blocks in SQX sequentially.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget, hit the notification bell, subscribe to the channel so you get notified of new videos.